Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy Unlimited Talks here, and today we're talking a little bit about Disney, China, and Hollywood just in general. So, about I don't know what was it, a couple days ago, there was an article that came out by the Hollywood Report that shows that talk about the relationship between Hollywood and China. Now, I think a lot of people already know about the relationship between Hollywood and China, where like Hollywood wants to please the Chinese market so that way they can get that Chinese dollar. I mean, why do you think like game companies and like small studios, go to China so that way they can be like, because all of them are owned by Tencent, like the game companies are owned by Tencent, and that way they can get that Chinese dollar. The Chinese dollar, and all the fact that they can get money. Now, let's be honest. Disney is one of the worst suspects of this because, let's be honest, Disney is a studio that has some of the biggest markets out there. I mean, you think about Star Wars, it's still Star Wars. So I mean, I gotta admit that. Still, you have Star Wars, you have Marvel, you have Pixar, you have Fox now. So you have a ton of like studios inside of Disney that says, yeah, this should be profitable. But the problem is they try to please the Chinese market too much, and China's like, hey, listen, we don't like this. We do not want. Because China is like this, right? They want American movies inside of their market. They don't want Chinese movies made by American studios to come over to China. Because think about Mulan. Mulan was made for China. It was supposed to be the saving grace, like supposed to be the saving prayer. And then it bombed in China, and China's like, listen, we do not want this. We don't like this. Just because you made it for us does not mean it's good. Because clearly you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Sure, you may have gotten like some people who know what the hell they're talking about, but you don't understand what it's like. We have homegrown movies here. We can watch those. We're gonna move here to watch American movies. Why do you think like some movies like Avengers work? Avengers works because guess what? It's not made for China. That's the point. It's not made for China. It's made for a whole mass audience, not made for one company. Well, anyway, we're gonna get into an article by Bounding in the Comics talking about Hollywood media turns on Disney, exposes the China agenda, which I was talking about earlier. Is we all knew that Disney was heavily favored towards China. Like, they want to get their Chinese dollars. I mean, they're willing to do whatever it takes, because like China does not like black people, because I don't know why they don't like black people, but they just don't like. For example, if you really look at this is a classic example. This is the United States poster for Black Panther versus the Chinese black poster for Black Panther. Well, again, these are two different versions of movies, both made by Disney, both of them are made by the same company. Versus, look at The Force Awakens in the United States. You can see right there, Finn is big, he's prominent, and he's in the back, he's in the forefront. Like, you can clearly see him. Versus the Chinese box office poster. Look at that. Finn is smaller than what he is in the United States. It's because they want to cater towards the Chinese audience, and how you do that? You make the black person in the film smaller than what it is, so that way he's not as prominent. So that way, it's easy to get past the Chinese, like what they called there's some of people who review stuff. So the Hollywood Reporter might be sensing a shift in tide as they readily expose Disney's China agenda in a very lengthy article discussing the relationship between Hollywood and China. Anyway, I just looked at that article. That article was very, very lengthy. Like, it was a really long article. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I can't review that. But it was kind of long article, which written by I'm not gonna try to say the name because I probably would butcher this dude's name. I'm sorry, Patrick, but opens up with outing Disney's China agenda by publishing part of an email sent to members of the press, instructing them to describe No Man Land director Chloe Zhao as Chinese nationalist. Now, if you don't know the person who made No Man Land, which is Chloe Zhao, she said she does not like China. She doesn't like China because she was born in China. She said, I don't like China. And it's like, because China kind of outed her as like a Chinese person. And it's kind of crazy that China would go that far, but like China, they don't like certain things, and they will never, and I mean never forgive you if you do one small thing. They will ban you straight outright. That's kind of why companies don't wanna. They are afraid to say anything to go against the Chinese overlords over there. So hopefully the fact that they can premiere over there. So according to Hollywood Reporter, a Disney executive emailed, "Please note in your ongoing coverage of Nomadland that Chloe Zhao is a Chinese filmmaker." The executive added, "You may accurately refer to her as a Chinese or Chinese national." See, that's the thing I don't understand about this. Is like, why are they so focused on her nationality? Like, why is that the case? Why are they so heavily focused on, oh, she's a Chinese filmmaker, she's a Chinese national? Why exactly does it have to be Chinese? She's a great filmmaker, she's amazing, she does a really good job. But no, the focus on the fact is she's Chinese, and you know why? So that way it can be in that Chinese box office. That way it's an easier, I guess, access point to get into China if you have a Chinese person directing the film. So, and this apparently wasn't the first time they've done so. But Ziki and Siegel claim for months the studio has been making clandestine. I would say they're making efforts to avoid agitating the Chinese Communist Party when it comes to Zhao. In fact, they report that sources tell them that Disney publishers do Searchlight persuade the small New York-based filmmaker magazine to move a quote from the 2013 Zhao profile in which debuting, the author explained the inspiration for her first feature film, Songs My Brother Taught Me, which the quote in question reads, "It goes back to when I was a teenager in China, being in a place where there are lies everywhere," she added. "You feel like you will never going to be able to get out. A lot of info I received when I was younger was not true and became very rebellious to my family and my background. I went to England studying and relearned my history. Studying political science in a liberal arts college was a way for me to figure out what is real. Arm yourself with information and then challenge that too." Pretty much you're saying like, hey, listen, China will tell you anything they do to pretty much get you on their side. Like, we will be 100% honest with you. China does whatever they can to persuade you to their side. It doesn't matter if the person was good or bad, but as long as China just gets that, it's like, as long as you stay silent, just please stay silent for us, and then from there, the dominoes fall. Pretty much all the studios want to fall underneath what China does, because China makes those big box office dollars. Hey, listen, you see China, they give you a ton of money, and there's a reason why. It's because China is one of the biggest markets in the world, and they just give you a ton of money to watch films. Like, his thing, I'll tell you why. I can say something. Shang-Chi will not work in China, Eternals will not work in China, and Mulan did not work in China because they cater towards a Chinese box office. All these films are catered towards China. Nomadland, the only reason the director was hired on because she was a Chinese descendant. She had Chinese in her. That's crazy. The fact that there's like, imagine the fact that she's Chinese. Think about how crazy that is. It's not because she won an Emmy, she won an Oscar. Like, don't even mention that. She's Chinese. Mention that. Mention that fact she's Chinese. Please mention that. No, that's God. This is why Hollywood This is why Hollywood sucks to be in, because like you do one thing and then like another domino falls, and then it falls until like it ends at the last domino, and then what? You're out of ideas, you're out of time, you're out of money. And that's what Disney's gonna have to realize, the fact that Disney cannot always rely on China, because China is gonna backstab them in the end anyway. This code led to immense backlash among Chinese social media users, so much that the Chinese Communist Party banned the Oscars due to Zhao's comments. Not only did they ban the Oscars, but they also scrubbed Zhao's victory from Chinese social media websites, and the Chinese-controlled internet. Hey, listen, if you say anything about Zhao, you're pretty much getting like axed. Like you're pretty much gone, you disappear, whatever. They do not. listen, if you say one thing about Chinese Communist Party, you are pretty much axed from them. You are pretty much way out of there. You ain't coming back. You're not coming back. You're not doing nothing. The Wall Street Journal reported, 2 state media reports told the Wall Street Journal that they have received orders from China's propagation ministry not to report on Mrs. Zhao's victory, despite what they described as her status as a Chinese national because of previous public opinion. Pretty much it's kind of the same thing when the whole Free Hong Kong and Blizzard came out. When Blizzard defended Overwatch play. What's Overwatch? I think it was an Overwatch thing. When he did Free Hong Kong, pretty much China must have been there. It's like, ban this dude, or else you are not getting over here with us. And they're like, Blizzard was over there sweating. They're like, oh crap, we gotta do something. And then they did. And they pretty much led the massive backlash over Blizzard's part because Blizzard just bends the knee to a Chinese party that one day will just say, we don't need you guys anymore. That's what's gonna happen. Then say, we don't need you guys anymore. We're not gonna need you again. And you can be axed. And then what? You gotta go back to the same people who you said, oh, we don't want you. Pretty much that's what's gonna happen. But it's not just the Oscars where Zhao's facing backlash. There was a report from Variety that Zhao's upcoming Eternals film might get banned from China after the film was left off of a CCTV 6 China movie channel listing of the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4 films. Both Eternals and Shang-Chi were off the list. They did include release dates for 8 other Marvel films though, because again they don't like Zhao, and they don't like Western, they like the Westerns, Hollywood, to pretty much say make Chinese movies. That's not your job. Your job is to make American movies for us to watch and enjoy. That's the whole point. Variety's Rebecca Davis explained, the omission might seem small, but significant lies in its provenance. The channel is under the jurisdiction of China's powerful propagation department, which has the final word on film's approval. But it was just kind of crazy that it will. I mean, I guess that's for any country where they have just one party, one department is yeah, I can approve this. That is crazy that one department can be your deciding factor. How crazy is that? That's been the most crazy thing I've ever seen. And that China can pretty much say, yeah, we are going. Hey, listen, movie's not gonna appear here ever. And that's a final decision, and goodbye and good day. And then there's nothing you can do because it's what am I gonna do? I can't do anything because we rely on China so much. If the film is banned from China, that would be a huge loss in box office gross for Disney. For example, according to the numbers, Avengers Endgame earned $629 million in China alone. Avengers Infinity War earned $359 million. Captain Marvel earned $153, Black Panther earned $104, Ant-Man and the Wasp $120, Spider-Man Far From Home $205. So think about this. That means the last 6 Marvel Cinematic Universe films released in China grossed $1.5 billion. Think about that. That's what Disney needs. Disney needs that. They need that big box office from China, or else they're not gonna get any money. Because Endgame made $629 million. That's crazy in my opinion. That's crazy. That's dumb money. That's dumb money from China. They say, we need China, please, don't ban our films, please. Hey, listen, we'll do whatever you want. Please allow us. Please allow us to make films in your movie theaters, please. Not only will they lose possibly an over 100 million grossing film, but Disney also has the cage to China because of the park business. Oh, I forgot they do have a park in China, don't they? Huh. THR claims Disney never weighed in on Hong Kong nor the substance of the situation in Xinjiang. Or Xinjiang. I don't know. I think it's Xinjiang. But if it had, President dictates that the lights inside the Magic Kingdom as vastly larger and more luxurious Shanghai Disney Resort would have gone dark instantly. Yeah, China doesn't. If you say a goddamn word, you will be axed. Pretty much that's what the case is. If you say one word, you're axed. You're done. You're not coming back. Pretty much is China has all the power. It's like China is just grabbing Disney by its balls. And it's just saying, squeezing them a little bit more. Say, hey, say something, and that's the case. That's what China is doing to pretty much every single studio that's inside China. Say something. I want you to say something. Oh, you're not gonna say anything? Good. And then release it and release the graphs. And then that boom. That's the end. But as TSR knows, that is the risk that comes with cooperating with the communist Chinese. In fact, Disney is pretty lucky that these are the parks under their construction and are located in China. Okay, because China shuts down all broadcasting of NBA games for a year after Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey expressed support for Hong Kong by tweeting, "Fight for their freedom, stand with Hong Kong." Because again, remember this, the NBA I think had to go off on Daryl Morey and say they don't say anything. Oh, like, it's crazy just of how much power China has over these businesses. Pretty much is they shut down all broadcasting of just of one tweet. one general manager is like, we're banning all your NBA games. That's how much power they have. In fact, it's like they will continue to listen. In fact, is that these companies will continue to listen to these certain party in China because it makes them a ton of money. So just sit down and shut up and just allow us to work. That's pretty much what's gonna be. And Disney was previously bought from China after the executive condon that showcased the People's Republic of China oppression of Tibet and exile of Dalai Lama. The Washington Post reported back in November 1997 and that the Ministry of Radio, Film, and Television issued a memo that stated, in order to protect Chinese national overall interests, it has been decided that all business cooperated with these three companies to be ceased temporarily without exception. Those companies were Disney, MGM/United States, and Columbia TriStar. See, that's interesting. This was back in 1997. I guess I had to come back because Disney needed that money, but whatever. However, by 1998, then Disney CEO Michael Eisner apologized for the creation of the film. P.N. Eisner stated, "The bad news is that the film was made. The good news is that nobody watched it." He added, "Here, I want to apologize. In the future, we should prevent this sort of thing, which insults our friends, from happening." Which is he said our friends, which is China and the Chinese Communist Party. That's what he's talking about, friends. Only sort of one type of people. And that was like the Chinese probably board of directors was like, yeah, you're not gonna show it here. And like, wait, hold on, wait a minute, we need money. Not only can the CCP shut down access to China, but they routinely use business partnerships in order to extract knowledge from American companies. Oh yeah, they do it all the time. Like, they do that with like phones and shit like that. Why do you think so many people were so pissed off? Like, my phone collection data is like going away. Something like, what's my phone business stuff being sold? Because again, your information is valuable. Like, your phone data is valuable no matter where you are. If you sell your data, you sell your information, oh yeah, people will honestly pay you bank for that. It's crazy how much money information just is, and it's just I really don't understand how, but that's just how it is nowadays. It's crazy. TSR says B Yang deployed is a standard playbook for playing catch up in a high sophisticated industry dominated by the West. Crack open the door to the local market just wide enough to entice experienced foreign firms to enter into partnerships and joint ventures with local companies. Required in many sectors under Chinese law in exchange for market access, with the ultimate aim of facilitating rapid knowledge transfer to the Chinese side while limiting the foreign players' potential dominance. So pretty much is like, so it's pretty much if you get inside China, you gotta give them information. They're gonna ask you for information, and you're probably gonna sell to them because that information is important to China because they want to kind of know how they're advancing so fast, and the information is valuable on their side. It's clear Disney has sold out to communist China. They publicly thank the CCP-controlled authorities in Xinjiang, which have been implied in the genocide of the Uyghur Muslim. Oh God, I'm butchering all these names so bad. I'm sorry. It's kind of weird. I probably should research this before I record the video. I probably should, but as part of the credits in the recent live-action Mulan remake. Even Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige missed the upcoming Shang-Chi film is to cater to China. In a recent interview with Men's Health, he stated, "It's about having a foot in both worlds, in the North America world and in China, and it seems who fits that perfectly quite well." Which isn't, because again, like, I mean, everyone kind of knew this was catered towards China. I mean, like, probably the first trailer, you could probably tell, like, this was supposed to be catered towards China. Like, problem with that is, Mulan bombed in China. They did not want that film in China because, why are they gonna want it in China? Because, yeah, sure, yes, you can make your Chinese movies and stuff like that, but listen, they're not gonna work over here because we have our own Chinese movies that we can watch. So congratulations, your movie bombed, and so will probably Shang-Chi in China. I mean, it's probably gonna get released in China anyway, but you get my point. You know, if it was in China, it probably would have bombed anyway in China because, you know, they want to watch their own homegrown movies if they watch Chinese movies. That's kind of the issue. Okay, so while Disney continues to cater to China, they appear to be losing the post in America. Pew Research reports that roughly 9 in 10 U.S. adults, 89%, consider China a competitor or enemy rather than a partner. In fact, 40% think limiting China's power and influence should be a top foreign priority for the U.S., up from 32% in 2018. On top of that, 67% of Americans have cold feelings towards China on a feeling thermometer, giving the country a rating of less than 50 on a 10 of a 0 to 100 scale. They added, the share who say they have very cold feelings towards China, 0 to 24 on the same scale, have roughly doubled from 23% to 47%. It does feel like it, because the issue that you see is people in the United States think that China has too much power. Because think about this: so many game companies are using China as a easy way to gain money. Like, they do the whole mobile games. It's super easy to do that. Like, China's a big competitor to the United States because guess what? It is a big competitor. Every single thing that's gonna come out is gonna be catered to, have a Chinese release date, and then China is gonna have all their money kind of to be up there and saved. Because it does feel like that China has too much power and has too much hold over, you know, the United States, and have over pretty much every single country, especially over here in the United States. I mean, like, over here it's bad. Like, China has, like, it feels like China's eyes and ears everywhere, and it's crazy that how much, like, Blizzard is campaign to, you know, defend China, how much they're willing to say silence, no more, do not speak about China ever. It's crazy that, like, you have so little say. In fact, it doesn't matter what they think. It's about what you think. It's about what China thinks. What does China think about this? And then boom, guess what? You be silenced once again, saying like, hey, listen, you will never hear this guy ever again. Maybe it's time for Disney to start having an American agenda rather than a Chinese one. Oh, that won't happen until they officially get banned in China. That has to be the habits, because again, if they get banned in China, I'm pretty sure Disney's like, okay, let's go back to the American one. Because again, the whole problem is they just don't seem to understand the fact that, like, listen, if you make it for the American audience, it will do so well. It will do so well. But since you don't do that, and you instead do it for a Chinese agenda, your films will continue to bomb and continue to fail because you choose to cater towards a Chinese audience, not an American one. If the current Disney leadership isn't willing to do that, then maybe the U.S. government should intervene. American companies should start acting like an American companies rather than attempting to describe themselves as a global business that caters to the likes of the Chinese Communist Party. And that's true. I mean, like, Disney's not going to stop. Disney's not going to stop until something happens, like where someone has to intervene and say, hey, listen, they're getting way too much information about us. We need to stop that. And I'm gonna say this, I'll be looking at Disney as a main contributor saying, hey, listen, you need to stop relations with China, or else, and then that'll be it. And then it'll be the very that'll be like the last closing statement. It's like, hey, listen, or else, you know, I don't want to do this. I might do something irrational, you know. So that's kind of what I imagine is going to happen. It's going to have to lead up into someone saying something. Someone's got to say something and pretty much say, listen, I know you want to sell your shit. I understand you can do that, but listen, if you continue to do this, go down this rabbit hole, you will continue to lose business, and it will continue to probably be a massive downfall of Disney. The rise and fall of Disney will be really, really fast. Anyway, that's what we got today. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video, subscribe to this channel, and as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.